Hello, good morning. This is Cairo live from Bangi, and today we are going to discuss with someone special restarting your physical fitness in the new normals. So, check it out our videos, and we'll see you at 11 a.m.
Hai, selamat datang ke Big Big Place. Banyak yang anda boleh jumpa di sini. Kasut sukan, hiking pose, bike lifestyle, jam tangan GPS, energy gels, cermin mata hitam. Ada dua cara untuk membeli belah di Big Big Place. Datang ke Big Big Place HQ di Bandar Tasik Selatan. Atau beli je online. Bantaran percuma untuk semua order lebih RM100 ke atas. Lawati gedung e-commerce kami di bigbigplace.com.
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law.
When companies set strategy, they often stumble. Either they collect a lot of backward-looking data, which doesn't tell them what future customers really want, or they make risky bets based on instinct instead of evidence. Design thinking is a strategy-making process that avoids these mistakes by applying tools from the world of design and shifting the focus to human behavior. Popularized by David M. Kelly and Tim Brown of IDEO and Roger Martin of the Rotman School, design thinking has three major stages. First, invent a future. Form a few theories about what customers might want but don't have by immersing yourself in their lives. Instead of polling them about specific products or services, observe and ask questions about their behavior. Next, test your ideas out. Use iterative prototyping with good enough products or services and conduct a few quick experiments to see how consumers respond. Adjust the product, the pricing, or the positioning accordingly. Finally, bring the new product or service to life. When you've got a winner, identify the activities, capabilities, and resources your company will need to actually produce, distribute, and sell it. For example, when senior managers at Procter & Gamble wanted to turn around the skincare brand Oil of Olay, they began by observing shoppers in both mass retail channels and high-end department stores. They realized that their industry had been primarily targeting women over 50 who were worried about wrinkles, while pretty much ignoring those in their 30s and 40s who were concerned about other issues. This was a huge market to be captured. So P&G experimented with new formulations that would tackle multiple skincare goals, then tested different prototypes, price points, and store displays. Finally, the company launched a series of new premium yet broadly distributed products that were well received by a wide range of consumers. By using imaginative, human-centered problem solving, design thinking can help you unlock new markets and identify new strategies.
Hello, this is me, Cairo, live again from Bangi, and welcome to the show, ICE Chat. And ICE stands for Innovation, Change, and Entrepreneurships. So, with me today, a special guest on the topic restarting your physical fitness. Let me see. All right, in the new normal. So, we are the new normal. There's a conditional MCO happening, and I could see even near my area, some people already go for jogging. Some people going for cycling. Some of my friends with their kids. So this is actually a new era as opposed COVID, although COVID is still around. So with me today, our special guest is K Basar. Can I have K Basar here, please? Hello, K. How are you, K?
Hey, what's up? Assalamualaikum,
What's
everyone.
up? Waalaikumsalam. So give a big hand to K for joining us today. All right, bro. So how's things on your side?
Things are good. Things are good. Basically, it's the start of a new week where we just started in terms of like the business back. Everyone is flocking back to their office, and this is something that is it's a big change after how many weeks of
Yeah.
confinement lah.
Yes, that's right. You know, like 8 weeks. 8 weeks. 8 weeks,
I think
right?
it's a good. Yeah, we are heading into 8 weeks now. So
Yeah.
basically, 2 weeks plus 2 weeks plus 2 weeks. Now we're
Yeah.
heading into 8 weeks.
Yeah.
It's something that you need to get used to. Even if you're back now, it's very different from back 2 months back lah. Yeah.
Right. Right. It's already 2 months, right? I mean, I couldn't believe
Yeah,
it
it is.
myself. Right.
I
When
mean,
it
you
first
can write off
started.
already March and April.
No, I remember when it first started in March. They say it's going possibly until May. I couldn't believe it. I say May cannot be what, you know. May is 2 months from now, and here we are
Yeah.
2 months from now in mid-May already, and puasa pun dah. I mean, almost 2 weeks now, right?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah. It is.
Right.
So
So
fast, right?
so fast, and so that's why I mean, like befitting the topic today is about the new normal. What's the new normal? I mean, I personally got to tell you that the last 2 months I haven't been as fit or rather exercise as I should be. My diet probably I can control, but my exercise a bit out. Now that I can see people going out, no, on the street, cycling, some of my friends, I'm beginning to ask myself, how do I restart this? You know, the
Okay.
physical fitness coming, you know, this is new normal. So share with us a little bit.
Okay, the first thing you need to understand today is not that you need to restart or you need to be fit. The first thing is, first you need to be safe. The COVID virus is not something that you want to attract. You want to, but you want to have lah, basically. So the first thing you need to do is ask the question: why do you want to work out? Why do you want to be indoors and do workout? Actually, it's because first, your health is the most important thing lah. Within this partial lockdown, you will have limited space and equipment. So for those people who are relying on gyms and open world where they do running, cycling, this is something that you need to adapt. The first thing is to change your mindset. To be honest, you need to ask why we do this. So this habit actually differs from individuals. So some people want to work out because they want to control their blood pressure. Some people want to work out because they want to feel alive, right? And some people actually just work out because they, how do you say that? They like to socialize. So from these answers that you have asked yourself, you can actually create a plan that actually suits you. So let's just take for example for the last one, right? Yeah. So you want to socialize. There are hundreds of ways you can do this, even from your own home. So basically, there are hundreds of Facebook Live, IG Lives, workout that is going on every day. For example, you can check out people like Pasri, Yoga with Pasri, Running Plan, Eddie, my friend from Fire, Try Yoga with Suke. All of these people are actually putting contents out there where you can follow live, and some people actually open Zoom channels so they can people can actually work out together with them. Yeah,
Right. Like for me, I'm more interested because I mean, for the audience out there, you know, I know Kay. What a few years ago we were in one program together, and Kay is someone who has been fit then and until now. I think you, yeah, you have joined marathon and you have joined triathlon, if I'm not mistaken, right?
yeah, I'm doing
yeah.
triathlon at the moment. Yeah.
You triathlon as well, and I see your in the K show you do a lot of running and cycling, and it's this what mountain biking in the house. I don't know what it was. So I want to ask you, K, right? Have you been keeping this exercise as it was during the MCO? How what do you do and how do you do it?
Okay. Like I said, the first thing that I wanted to do for during this PKP, I mean MCO and now Ramadan, is actually a maintenance period where you don't really push yourself, but you still want to keep a certain level of fitness. So before this, like I said, you can actually follow a lot of the people like live channels. So like for example, in the evening you can go with yoga, and in the morning yoga, and then in the evening you have people who does HIIT training. But during Puasa, I changed a little bit, where because I'm not a big fan of like working out without water, for example. So I split my training mostly in the morning and after berbuka lah. So I wake up a little bit early, like for example 3:30 to 4, just to be able to do some cycling. Where
So 3:30 in the morning, is it?
yeah, but
Really?
it is tough to do lah. I'd say it's something that you need to be able to be a bit more disciplined for it. So, but there are days I can't really wake up. I have to be honest. There are days it's very difficult because some days we have meeting at nights, and I joined a couple of classes, so just to improve myself during this MCO, right?
Okay.
So
How different is training, waking up in the morning, really morning? That was 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, and what other what you call timing that you have tried before? Is there any difference? Or is that the same?
To be honest, like I said, everyone is different. Meaning to say that for me, there are people who are morning person. There are people who are actually a night person.
Right.
So you need to really know whether you are a morning person or a night person. So I am a morning person, so I work and function better in the morning. So I'll just have to have my sleep, like even though it's like 5 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours. It will help me
Right.
a lot in order to be able to be motivated to work out. Like I said, like doing PKP, doing MCO is
Right.
some sort of maintenance rather than having a, how do you say it, to push yourself and get personal best. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so in terms of okay, there's this always endless since the Adam and Eve, that diet and exercise, right? So, so which one that's I mean, from someone as, I mean, you even have a maintenance workout plan, man. I don't. So, what is between diet and exercise? Which one? Your
Mhm.
thoughts?
Okay, that's the eternal question of diet versus exercise, right? So I would like to steal a little bit of some advice from my good friend, which is Adele Wong from Nutrition Track. You guys can check her Instagram and Facebook about it. But from what I understand is you can't outwork your diet. But to answer this question also, the most important thing I think is a good habit. A good habit actually is something that will help you to have better diet and also exercise. Because sometimes you will have cheat days. You really need to have a good mental health where, oh, okay, today I want to have burgers, right? But then some people actually feel that, oh, I'm guilty that I didn't work out. But to me, again, working out is all about consistency lah.
Right.
So, like for example, in the K show, right, we always create contents from a perspective of normal, average working adult, where time and willpower are actually limited. So, unless we have enough time to recover and at least just focus on working out at 20 minutes per day and have a good diet, having a good diet will score you more.
All right. Okay, you talk about the K show just now, right? I mean, you started that and you are the main host anchor for that show. Tell us more.
Yep.
What is the K show?
Okay, the K show is basically a side project of mine, a non-profit channel that we talk a little bit about fitness, workout in a more structured and scientific way lah. This project actually started 2 years ago, where I interviewed experts, for example, people from different backgrounds, running, cycling, swimming. And it stemmed into a new side of project also, where I tried triathlon for the first time, where I documented my journey. So we try to talk about things like a little bit more, not on the how to lose weight in 1 week kind of contents, but I'd say it's something that is much more tedious, where you still need to put some more effort, and we need to work a little bit more to make it happen lah. So currently the channel is heavily on running, but we still do focus on swimming and cycling also. So do check it out, guys. Do check the channel out. We have a website.
Right.
It's I think you can see at the side. Oh, it's a bit flipped there.
Yeah,
because
the K show, right?
yeah.
So you mentioned
K
just now, yeah, you say it's a non-profit. I mean, what is the goal of K show in your plan? I know it's only a side plan for you, but do you have like a vision of K show? What it should be actually?
The K show is something that I wanted to do because I want to inform people rather than having advices that focus on weight loss, which doesn't work. So I also want people to understand that, okay, you don't, like for example, take running for example, right? You don't just go outside, run without any purpose. And then there's a lot of ways to improve your running if you do some structured training and you understand the mechanics behind it. Yeah.
Right. So okay, how different what the K show offers in what people can get on internet or something out there from YouTube or other channel?
Okay, first thing, I think although the K show started as an English based channel, and I realized that most of our market is Malay speaking, so the K show actually curates most of the information out there in the internet. I mean to say that, oh, okay, there's a lot of things out there in the internet, but we tend to be able to curate the topics that is actually interesting And also we talk to a lot of experts in Malaysia, meaning to say that, okay, this guy is actually a good running coach, and he shares a lot more on tips on running. And also, this is a good, this is one of the best of swimming coach in Malaysia, and he will be able to share with you guys. For example, swimming in Malaysia, it might be different from other places. Yeah.
Right. So, okay, I like the part where you mentioned that you approach these coaches. They're probably lying low, very what we call low profile, right? And you. So how do you find them? And the moment you go to them and wanted to seek, their collaboration or arrangement, how does it work? With the Kesho, and how do you make this something that is useful for your audience?
Okay. Like I said before, this K-show actually is also a journey for myself, where I started to do triathlon. So I couldn't swim back then also. So I followed a program by Swim Smooth, which is by Coach Shauki. So this actually, the journey itself actually is very interesting, where I started from zero and I was able to swim and also join my first triathlon after that. Besides that, I also started cycling like 2 years ago, and then with the backing of like people from psychology, we managed to get more information, and I decided to say, okay, this is something that is actually useful for other people. I'm not going to keep it for myself, and I want other people to actually benefit from this information also. So hence, I have a little bit of a background in editing and also video production, so I decided to just put it out there.
Yeah. Okay, you mentioned just now that you started. I think I remember that part where you mentioned that you wanted to learn how to swim for a triathlon. Yeah, now you mention it, I recall something, especially in the open water kind of situation, right? Was that your first triathlon? I think you managed to complete the triathlon, right?
Yeah. So open water swimming is basically different from swimming in the swimming pool. But having said that, if you want to be able to swim in open water, you need to be strong in the pool itself. That is so. Imagine if you are not strong in the pool. In the open water, you will have a lot of other variabilities that you can't actually predict. For example, the waves, then the jellyfish and all. So you will tend to panic. So how do you say it? Improving your skills in the pool actually is very important, and then but you still need to go outdoors, like into the open water, before the event itself. So there are a couple of other bodies that actually help people to learn open water. For example, Swim On.
Right.
I think it's Malaysian Open Water Swimming, which is actually doing a lot of other open water classes out there, and also RC Coaching, who is actually doing a lot of community based simulation. Yep.
Right. I mean, from what you explained, Kay, I found that your preparation towards the triathlon, was it last year?
Yep.
Last year, and I found that your approach is highly scientific, and you have psychologists with you. You have people in the professional coaching to help you as well. And I remember you also use a lot of advanced, I would say advanced, not just average people. I mean, people normally say that, I can do it myself because I want to reduce my cost. Can you also share with us what's the value you gain by having these people and material with you as a person? Because you're talking about average people, right? So how do you see value in doing that personally?
I think first of all, triathlon itself is an expensive sport if you don't really control it. Bike is very expensive, and then coaching for like triathlon, like for example swimming itself, is very expensive. But having said that, in order to be able to not just complete a certain event, you want to be able to also set some goals like for example, I wanted to be able to finish within the top 50 for my first triathlon, let's say for my first sprint. This is something that I have ingrained in my objective. And then I am blessed to be able to have these resources of people. For example, one of my cycling coaches is Luis Pang from Sabah cycling team, where he's a UCI level 2 coaching certificate. He has a UCI level 2 coaching certificate, which is one of the highest at the moment in terms of cycling. So it's not basically just cycling. It's more towards how you approach things. For example, how structured training actually will help you to improve. And then I also was quite fortunate to be able to train in psychology with this in Lo Damansara, which is a power-based training. And then this actually helps me to reduce time. For example, it's not just going out there and cycle. Basically, it's to be able to have a result-based and how do you put it? A more analytical way to quantify whatever you're doing. Yeah. So this is something that is very important to be able to get results faster in a pretty short of time. Yeah.
Right. So, okay, looking forward, right, in terms of the new normal that we're having now, do you see this kind of approach is going to be helpful for all people who are working out there? Because now in the new normal, it is very hard to get a PT, personal trainer, and probably if you can get them, probably at a higher cost, right? Because of the social, physical distancing and stuff like that. Do you see this kind of way of exercising or workout? It's going to be something of the future, or post-COVID pandemic situation.
It's interesting that you say that, because I have a couple of other people who are in the physio business, and also they do like a PT, like personal training sessions, right? Like for example, Precise Rehab. They actually started to change their business model where they go towards online, meaning to say that they can actually survey what you are doing through Zoom, for example, and then just say, okay, you need to do this. But from the webcam itself, they can say, okay, maybe your position is not right, your form is not right. So you can actually see that, hey, I need to improve this, I need to do this. And in terms of cost, I really don't know, because it's something that is really different these days. Coming from a background that I'm not a personal trainer, I'm just someone who is actually just helping around in terms of gathering information. I'd say it might go lower or higher, but yeah, personal training is still available, and I think it will be a bit more advanced, like design training itself, design thinking itself. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now, just now you mentioned about you gave me a video on Big Place, right? This is an e-commerce site. It's a site thing that you do as well, and you position yourself as the marketing wizard in Big Place. Tell us a little bit more about Big Place.
Okay, Big Place is one of the hybrid marketplace where you can actually get sports goods and also outdoor goods. You say you can actually get shoes, you can get hiking poles, but like you said, in the new normal, we are also diversifying our products. Meaning to say that you can actually get coffee makers, where you can actually bring it outdoors, things that actually will, and also lifestyle stuff. Yeah.
All right. So, how has it been? At e-commerce during the MCO period? Now, I know there are some businesses picked up really well. There's some business got affected a little bit. So, what is it like for Big Place, and how is that going to be charting your way forward, looking at a few months from now?
It's interesting because for the past 2 months, the sales has dropped a little bit. because these are considered mostly wants and non-essential stuff. But that's the reason why also we tend to diversify our products now, and then we have implemented other measures. For example, if you want to buy a GPS watch, you are able to buy it in installments, meaning to say that you won't you won't finish your cash just to buy, for example, a GPS watch like this one. Yep. So this is something that we have implemented to help people actually to secure certain stuff like, for example, the GPS watches. So but having said that, also there are other things that have garnered more traction. For example, food items and other like salt. Also, people buy from internet, So
Right.
I've seen a report on e-commerce. The funniest thing was women undergarment. I think that has a 900% increase on it. So
Right.
yeah. So
Okay.
it really depends on the sector and really depends on the product that we bring. So for Big
Right.
Place, we just need to be able to diversify and find more ways to help people to stay fit and healthy.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. All right. So I'm glad to hear that there's I wouldn't say a big pivot, rather adapting to the new normal that we all have been going through right now. So I mean, okay, I know you want to sidetrack a little bit. I know you as an entrepreneur. We went into the program together with Magic Stanford, and I want to sidetrack a little bit to ask about your entrepreneurship since then. And now, what would be something that you picked up along the way on entrepreneurship until now, and how do you see that going to be in the new normal situation? How does entrepreneurship going to drive the in the situation that we are in right now?
I think in terms of entrepreneurship, the most important thing that I have learned over the past few years is to be able to react fast to certain changes. It's something like happening like this, for example, COVID, right? It's very difficult if you just try to use the same things before this and then expect the same results. So, I'll take example for Big Place. We think that outdoor goods will not be able to move, and then it's because of it's something that is non-essential. It's a want, and it's very. It will take on the cash lah. So that's why we actually implemented, for example, the installment payments, and this is something that has reflected to a positive way in our sales a little bit. Yeah. And then in terms of the new normal, I think we just need to be able to change fast.
Change fast, yeah.
Yeah.
So do you see changing? You have to change very fast, right? So in terms of exercising, right? From scientific approach, I want to tap on your experience scientific approach. How long do you think someone can go dormant or rather sedentary until it's affected their health? Your thoughts?
It really depends on what is your objective. If you just if you're talking about high performance athletes, right? In terms of 2 weeks, there will be a drop of a good 60 to 70% of their performance if they are dormant. But for us who is normal, who are working adults, I think if you just maintain it, 20 minutes per day, it is something that is good enough to help with your blood circulation, and then keep your blood pressure at a stable level. So for me, you can go dormant, but just think of the benefit after that, or the complications.
Right. So, okay. Talking about professional athlete, at one time I remember that you did some work with Azran. Azran Osman running.
Yep.
I found him very competitive I think he is a professional athlete. The way that he projected himself and the things that he does. Can you maybe share us a little bit about that part? How did he train, and What did you learn from him looking at in his situation?
Um, After working with Azran for a couple of months, trying to document his journey coming back from his accident. Yeah, Azran had an accident, a cycling accident where he was hit and got hospitalized, and he wanted to go back into Ironman. He's a triathlete who does Ironman and half Ironman, and one of the most important thing I'd say is his mental and perseverance. Without this, if I myself would be in his situation, I would not be able to come back into sports itself again. So I think the most important thing that I've learned from Azran is he has a really strong mental and strong will. Yeah.
So in terms of talking about mental health, do you think exercise can improve mental health? Because I have seen, even for me, sometimes exercise give me stress. So I mean, from your opinion, at one point the exercise help our mental health, and at which point that it causes us to become so stressful that you're unable to do a lot of things after that.
Okay, this is an interesting question also, because I always believe that humans are unique and different in their own way. So you can't force something that if you don't see the benefits of it. So some people actually find peace or joy in cleaning dishes or singing in the toilet, right? So while for some people actually, for some people they feel that okay, exercise makes me feel stressed, but it's like finding a life partner, I think, because there are a lot of varieties for exercise. Like for example, yoga, running, cycling, swimming. You just haven't found the right one yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd say, like,
So
maybe you are interested in playing lawn ball,
right. Right.
then or running is not for you. Maybe you like swimming, or maybe you like Zumba. So it's always something for everyone.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
so do you agree that sometimes exercise give us stress as well? Should we slow down, or should we push it? Because there are people, for example, who is, I mean, from the look of it, they are very fit, but after a while, no, they become sick very easily, and then they die. Suddenly you hear them get a heart attack, or have some what you call depression, all those stuff. I mean, is that something that worthwhile pursuing?
In terms of exercise, okay. I'd say, right.
I'm not.
a
I'm
big-
not finding. I'm not finding excuses. Yeah, I'm really asking on behalf.
I understand that lah.
Yeah.
Exercise actually gives a very good effect on mental health, where you can actually de-stress by doing stuff and it release certain hormones that will actually help you in your body, right? But the most important thing is to progress. To have progressive overloading, meaning to say that today you do something that is you can do 5 reps, then tomorrow you can do 6 reps. So you don't just do all out. I'm not a big fan of. I'm not a big believer of no pain, no gain, or you push until you drop. If your goal is to be fit, actually, instead of pushing yourself to work out, die, right, like crazy, take a more consistent approach. Meaning to say, even though it's moderate, but you want to be more consistent in your approach. Yep.
All right. So okay, talking about being consistent, what is being consistent in your definition?
Okay. Let's take an example for people who do. I won't say like for example, they do Olympic lifting, right? Some people actually pushes themselves to the point that, oh, I need to feel the burn when I lift, so they feel, oh, this is good, right? So tomorrow they will not be able to do it because of the what people call as DOMS, which is delay onset muscle thickness, the soreness in your muscle, which prevents you to be able to work out, right? And then for me, if you do something every day, but you improve little by little, it is much more beneficial in order to be fit. Like for example, rather than someone who does okay today, but tomorrow I rest, the next day I rest, then I do all out again, and then 2 more days I'll rest. But if you do something like, okay, today I do 5 reps, tomorrow I do 5 reps, the next day I do another 6 reps, but consistently over the week, I think they will be able to get more reps to it. I mean, be more consistent in it.
Right. So okay, and I like that number of scientific approach, what you call jargon that you mentioned just now. I'm very confident that you have very exposed into all this, and you also mentioned about your routine, the scheduling. But how do you find time? I mean, you do video editing. You're running a show. You're also at the at the big place. You also have your own show, and then you have to exercise. Wake up early in the morning. You gotta sleep somewhere. So how did you plan all this? Are you single, married by any chance? You have seeing someone at the moment?
Like I said, it varies from person to person, right? And then since we are in the PKP at the moment, so we actually have a good disposal of time, and then you will be surprised that there's a lot of things that actually suck your time that you just didn't realize it. Like for example, the first week it was quite difficult for me to get into the groove because a lot of people say, "Hey, come lah, play a game, play PUBG, play Dota," or things like that. But after that, I realized, hey, actually, I'm wasting quite a lot of time, but just by doing this. So actually, 24 hours, if you can sit down, chart each of the time that you do on activities, right? You realize that you actually have a sufficient amount of time, lah. It's all about how you motivate yourself to do it. Yeah.
So how do you motivate yourself to do it? Tell us your secret.
Yeah,
Come on.
Question, right?
Yeah.
It's not always. It's not always. I think my motivation is not always high. There are days that I can't really do it, but I always have this strategy of getting out of the system, getting things out of the system. So I'll try to do things that is not useful to a point that I feel like, okay, I am actually really wasting time on this. So I started to get back into it, and then to be able to track what you're doing actually will help you a lot in terms of realizing that, hey, okay, I'm wasting time.
Okay.
So that is one of the ways that I actually see that, okay, I need to do better, because for me, the K show actually we can create more contents on K show, or we can actually churn out more marketing stuff for BB Plays, or I can actually do cycling. But you also can do this by actually having a plan. Having a plan.
I mean, talking
yeah.
about plan K, do you have like a schedule? I mean, physical schedule or digital schedule, or it's just all in your mind? Can you share with us?
I do have a schedule. For example, today, okay, for training, right? You need to always ask yourself, what is the purpose of you doing this exercise? So I have like for scientific purposes. Like for example, now I am actually doing more towards like low intensity because it's Basar. So I just doing for maintenance. So I actually schedule things that is just for maintenance lah. So I know that, okay, today I'm gonna do this, and tomorrow I'm gonna rest a little bit, or do something like stretching or yoga. But if you don't have the luxury of doing this, you can always get someone to, like a coach or a personal trainer who can do this for you. Yeah.
So you do have a schedule in your own daily life to look into all this. But how much accurate or percentage that you stick to a schedule every day or on average week or average month?
I'd say it's around 70%.
70%. Okay.
You need to always give some time for yourself, I think. To be able to actually stick into it. Yeah.
Right. I mean, okay. Yeah, we've been talking about with K Basar today about taking care, starting your fitness, in the new normal, and many of the things that you mentioned just now, yoga, stretching, even now during PKP, MCO, is very much an individual kind of exercising, taking care of
Yeah.
fitness. How about someone who is a bit more group person? Prior to MCO, they what we call go into like Jom Kurus Malaysia. They have other community exercising. Or what we have seen the last in the MCO, an alternative they can do, still maintaining that social groove they desire, but at the same time taking care of their fitness.
Mhm. Like I mentioned before, there are always ways for you to be able to do this in a group. I'll take an example from the people who are in psychology. They do Zwifting together, meaning to say that Zwift is actually an online game where you can actually connect your bicycle to your trainer and also to the virtual world lah.
Oh, really?
But
How
having
do I
said that,
how do I spell that, Zwift?
ZW I ZWIFT. Yeah, Zwift. It's
WIFT.
yeah, it's a cycling and also a running online game lah. But
Right.
at the side, they will be able to do Zoom calls or do FaceTime just to be able to have that social gathering feeling
Oh.
and suffering together.
Oh. Oh, is it the one that you show the other day? There was like someone behind you on the TV screen on your cycling. Is that the
No,
one?
no, it's just a joke. Like, the one is just
Oh,
a joke
okay.
that we tried on TikTok.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's not the one. Okay, so those guys, you can try Zwift. Check it out. Is this? Is this something local, Zwift, or is this a global thing? Is it an app or a
Zwift
subscription?
is as I think it's a US company who creates this. They have been around for like 3 to 4 years, I think. It is an international. I think that they gain a lot of traction because of MCO, where cyclists can't really go out, and this is something that is really interesting because I created an article about panic drifting. Panic
What is it?
drifting on
Panic.
my
Panic. What again?
panic drifting.
Panic drifting.
Panic drifting.
Okay. What is
Yeah,
that? What is
because-
panic drifting?
Okay, in order to be able to join this world of Zwift, you need to be able to have trainers, right? Bicycle trainers that can
Right.
actually connect to it. So it's power based, meaning to say that you need to have a power meter or a smart trainer. So for the first few weeks of MCO, the sale of bike trainers has grown up. Like skyrocket.
Okay.
Yeah, so
All right.
it is something that is actually quite expensive in some ways. Yeah.
Well, why did it went up? Why did it exploded? Why?
Why? The reason why, because everyone wants to have that social gathering kind of thing in another world.
I see. Okay. What's the cost of this particular service called Zwift that you
Okay.
mentioned just now?
The hardware itself, for example, you can actually buy a cheaper version.
Mm-hmm.
From all you need is a speed sensor, which costs around 200, and a trainer, which around 500, so less than 1,000. But in order to be able to be immersed in that world, you might be able to spend around 3,000 to 4,000 for a good bike trainer, which have
Right.
feedback, everything. And the subscription itself to Zwift itself is around 65 to 70. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And
That's interesting.
that doesn't include the price of your bike.
That's only the connecting to the bike, the hardware.
Yeah, basically
connecting
it's
the
just
bike,
to
yeah.
connect your bike into
Right.
the virtual world. Yeah,
Right.
it's like Matrix lah.
Right. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I think you are into all this gadget.
Yeah.
And you're I think you're a guy that, from our conversation, I think you believe in data.
Yeah.
You believe in that's how you track your progress, and it gives you certain kind of what you call communication. so that you know are you on the right track or you're not, right? Okay, now we wanted to talk about post COVID, talking about immunity. Now I don't know whether this is something that you'll be able to help us. Immunity development. COVID, there are certain places that in the world they are using herd immunity. In other words, people around that area will get better together and hopefully they can eliminate COVID. So from your scientific experience that you have in fitness, would this work, or what's your own opinion on that? There's only merely an opinion.
Yeah, okay. Before I answer this, I think I have a put disclaimer for this. This is just a personal opinion, so I'm not a
Yeah.
trained doctor or physician, so please consult your health professionals before this. So
Right.
yes, exercise actually does help in terms of immunity, but most of the people actually might overdo it because okay, what else can you do at home besides working, taking care of the kids, right? So some people actually overdo it, and this might be actually counterproductive to your health because once you put so much stress on your body, your immune system will be affected. And
Okay.
so my advice is always exercise moderately and
Right.
always continue with progressive overloading. Yep.
Okay, you mentioned this word progressive overloading. What is it actually?
Okay, progressive overloading is something that where you always how do you say it? You add a little bit more every day instead of having the same weights. For example, you lift 5 kilos every day. You lift 5 kilos today. Tomorrow you will lift like 6 kilo, but slowly. Instead of
Right.
going like 5 kilos today and then 50 kilos tomorrow.
Right. Okay. That's what you call progressive overloading. I mean, so this concept of progressive overloading, how does someone apply it? Is it only when they plan to exercise, or is it on daily basis?
Yep. I think this thing is you can apply it in life, anything. Like
Okay.
instead of having things like difficulties, I mean, if you want to have a difficult task, right? On hand, like say you want to write. Oh, today I feel like writing 200 words for my blog. Then maybe tomorrow you want to push a little bit, and it also applies to like running. There's always people saying, oh, okay, you need to have a 10% rule to it. Like, okay, this week I'm going to run 50 kilometers in total. Next week I'm going to add another 5 kilometers. So I think this progressive overloading is something that you can apply to basically everything in the world.
Okay, that's good. Is this a term that people use in your world? I mean, in the exercise
Yeah,
fitness
it
world.
is.
Yeah.
It is in something that you talk
Ah.
in this. Yeah.
Right, but it seems to
Yeah.
be versatile in terms of the concept. If
Yep.
you add on slowly in your progress.
Mhm.
Good. So other
So
than
instead of like
exercises,
pushing directly, like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I feel like I want to go for a full marathon, but you've never done a half marathon or you've never done a 10 kilometers. That's the concept. Lah.
right, right. You know what? I mean, I had two things I wanted to ask just now. So one is, I mean, talking about marathon. At one time, I wanted to join a short marathon, a 5 kilo marathon, but I think that's not marathon. That's more like jogging, lah, right? But
It's all like a 5 kilometer run. Lah.
run is running event, right? But at one time
Yeah.
I was quite active, going out, but then my work got busy. I stopped for a while, and now I think I have to build up again, right? So the thing is, people are always wanted to do something like running. They shop for shoes, go and get good shoes, right? So they said. So in your perspective, what would be the nice shoes for running? Again,
I
yeah.
think shoes is very personal for everyone. Everyone has different types of body and different types of gait. Some people actually, if you do some research, they will have three types of running style. You will have like people who pronate on your to like over pronate, under pronate, or natural. So for me, you just need to find a good shoe just by trying or understanding how you run. there are people actually who does video gate analysis, showing that okay, this is how you run, and this is the type of shoes that you actually need. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, do you have any particular that that people should look forward to? Something,
In terms
is
of
it a running shoe? Any particular recommendation?
it might be biased, but I don't I don't want to be biased in terms of like the brands or stuff, but different brands actually has different kind of pros and cons. For example, I
Right.
take a brand from France which is called Hoka One One. It's a brand that is really popular because of the cushioning, which is quite soft, and it is quite popular for those people who are actually doing longer distance because due to the softness of it. But some people who are actually running shorter distance, they prefer something that is much more responsive, meaning to say that you don't feel too mushy when you run, meaning to say that you step, you won't feel wobbly or something, but they prefer something that is responsive. This is what they call as responsive. So they might be going for track shoes or racing flats, things like that.
Right. Okay, you mentioned just now a brand from France. That reminds me that you had some France or French experience. Can we just dig on that for a while? And I heard on one of your videos that you speak was it Mandarin or Chinese Cantonese?
Oh no, I don't. I understand a little bit but most of the time
Right.
I just I actually speak quite fluent French because
Right.
I've been living there for maybe 9 years. Yep.
Right. Yeah, can
Up
you
to
tell
9
us
years.
a little bit that part of your life to my audience here? Share us a little bit. Yeah.
I was fortunate, alhamdulillah, because I was given a chance to pursue my higher education in France, where I studied as an engineer, worked a couple of, I think, 1 year in a different kind of environment. Meaning to say that I was working as an engineer in the sports, a different type of sport. It's racing sports. Meaning to say it's Formula E, Formula Electric.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was in after France, graduating in France. The life there is a bit different compared to Malaysia. Something that I feel that you can't really trade for the world. I think most of the thing that I really remember is the experience there.
So you said that you were in Formula E. What was that actually?
Formula E is a different kind of racing where it is like Formula One, but using electric motors. Meaning to say that they don't use any combustion engine. It is
Right.
purely from electric motors. Yeah,
So it's a car racing.
it's a car racing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's interesting.
We used to have it in Putrajaya on the first and second season, but I think it's a bit more expensive.
Okay. Well, okay. You studied engineering and then you get involved in some automotive Formula E. How on earth do you now get involved in fitness, video editing? I really like many of your videos. Very good storyline. I mean, how did you become like what you are today?
It's a matter of choice, and I think I have gone through the industry itself. For like, for example, race car industry is a very high pressure environment. I think if you have Netflix, you can actually see the Formula One documentary. I can't remember what's the name of it. Born to Race. I can't remember, but this actually reflects quite a good amount of the life in Formula One or Formula racing, where it is high stakes and really high pressure. So it is something that I have been going through for 2 years. It is been after a while you feel that okay, this is something that might not be suitable for me. Then I came back and then I started joining Original Bootcamp, where they actually helped me in terms of my fitness, and then I feel that this is something that I can connect with people and find it interesting and like I said, the past 2 years, I have talked to experts in terms of uh, how to be able to work out better, and I want to just connect with more people, and this is something that's really a choice of life that I find very interesting.
Right. Okay, that's interesting. That guys, that's K Basar. No, he's fluent in French, right? And K also is a Sarawakian. Yeah, I think that's something
Yes.
not many people know. Yeah, so and you're so fluent in your Malay and English. I mean, of course, off and on sometime, the Sarawak words will came out. So how did you adapt, and how often do you go back to? Was it Kuching?
No, it's Miri.
Miri, yeah. Tell us more, okay, about your Sarawak origin.
I am actually from a Miri, a very proud Mirian.
Mm,
So
yeah.
I actually went. I mean, before going to France, when
Mm,
I was 18, I started I've done my foundation in Shah Alam in
mm,
Tech, and then prior to that, I never lived outside. I mean,
mm,
I was always been in Miri, and
mm,
then after going back, I came back here in Malaysia and have settled in KL for mostly Selangor areas for quite a while. I think it's more like 5 years, 6 years around. And then yeah, I have a lot of friends here. I feel that it's some of them have become like family to me. And
mm.
then yeah, pretty much true and born Malaysian here.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So we are 5 minutes before 12, and I really wanted to complete this on time. So for K show, let's go back to K show. Thanks so much for sharing a little bit of your personal stuff. I know it's not part of the plan, but I really like to dig a little bit on that. That's quite cool. So what is the K show plan moving forward in terms of content, in terms of direction? Any new video coming up?
I think we wanted to revisit a couple of things, like for example, the heart rate training that which is quite popular when we first started.
Mm-hmm.
The heart rate training is basically training with by monitoring your heart rate, so that
Oh.
okay, there's this concept of 80-20. I think
Mm.
it is applicable to most of the things in the world. For example, you do 20% of your hard work to be able to get your 80% of the benefits, right? So heart rate, low heart rate training also applies to this. So we need to say that with 80% of heart rate training, I can get the performance that I need. So maybe
Right.
this is the direction for the next 2 months, where we wanted to make it very clear, because it was in written form. So now I think we're gonna push it into video form lah.
Right. Okay. So this will be the next video for the K show, right?
Yeah.
Right. So in terms of the K show itself, during the COVID pandemic situation, did you have any sort of glimpse of what you call maybe a new direction or a new market community that you wanted to address?
For me, the current community itself is still untapped lah. Meaning to say that the concept that we want to put here is all about education.
Mm.
We still don't know how it's going to affect with COVID, but I think putting contents out there in terms of online
Mm.
for people to actually see without actually attending classes or clinics is something that is interesting lah.
Yeah. But I think K, I think we talked earlier on that K is a side project. How do you see that monetizing it in terms? I mean, because video editing is expensive. I'm doing it as well. So how do you see that? Is it going to be stay on? Excuse me, to be an educational type of program, or you one day you wanted to monetize it, or you're probably looking at someone to acquire K show? Maybe someday, you never know.
You never
Yes.
know, right? But at the
Yeah.
moment, it is something that is just a passion project for me. We do have a couple of sponsors in terms of like who where they sponsor me in terms of like the tri suits, psychology in terms of like training with them, like physiotherapies, also like research rehabs. These people are actually supporting the journey itself, where I believe it's a win-win situation for both parties. But in the future, for me, it's still something that is to be able to help others to learn more.
Right.
It still will be part of the education. Yeah.
No, I really like how the K show came out because no, I also follow your journey online, and when you did this, I'm like, wow, this is very interesting. And that was about 2 or 3 years ago, and we spoke about you wanted to utilize more of your video editing skills and some media thing that you do. But I'm glad to see, and I'm so happy that you have we're very positive with Kay, and you were the one who suggested me TikTok last night, so I already have checked it out. I checked out already, and you see more updates from me. Right, give me a few more weeks to think out the box and see how I can come out with content. Definitely not the dancing type. You know, if you look at the thread that I did last night on Facebook, a lot of the guys say, "Oh, you should go dance." I mean, but from what you shared with me last night, that TikTok not only just about dancing, it is
Yeah.
quite something different. I really wanted to try,
So,
and
if you just let me just cut you there, because if you
yeah,
want to see like good contents on how they can relate, you should see people like CEO of the sea, CEO of the
see,
sea, or
obviously,
CEO of the ocean. So these
right,
people actually give a glimpse of what they do, and then they redirect it to Instagram and YouTube.
right,
Like for
yeah,
example,
ah,
I found a camera which was lost in the sea. Check out my YouTube channel to find out more at the end. Yeah, it is something that is something you
okay,
can actually
okay.
think. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's something that useful. I'm definitely going to check it out because people are talking about TikTok everywhere, and as a digital business, like it or not, is something that we should explore without prejudice. Because at the end of the day, the customer is evolving, the customer is changing, the eyeballs is changing, people who own the money is changing. So I mean, the new generation, many of them in TikTok, and they're probably
Mhm.
in the TikTok for a number of years. So we need to see how we can, as a e-commerce digital business, we need to see where the customer is, as it
Yep.
goes, right? So wrapping up for Big Place, is there any new promotion coming during the MCO, post MCO? Tell us a bit more, Kay.
Oh, I think we just wrapped up one big promotion for Ramadan like last week. Yeah,
Ah,
but
alamak.
yeah,
Okay.
don't worry. We might be having more promotions. Just need to just follow our Facebook page,
Mm-hmm.
Instagram. Yeah. So
Right.
most of the updates will be on our Facebook and Instagram, and
Okay.
you can always check on www.bigbigplace.com for proper promotions. Yeah.
Updates, all right. So
Mhm.
final words to all the people who are going to restart their fitness out there, Kay. What would it be? Final words from you.
Um, First thing first, you need to focus on your health and
Mm.
safety. So just
Mm.
follow the rules that actually, I mean, the guideline that has actually been submitted,
Mm.
and then try to be more consistent.
Yeah, I really like. I
Yeah.
think the word be consistent is always with you. I really like what you say about being moderate,
Mm.
be consistent, do not overdo it. I think this kind of message is very, very calming to many people out there, including myself. The idea is just start something, keep doing, and do the progressive overloading. Yeah, that's the new
Yep.
term I'm going to use.
It's not a sprint; it's a marathon.
It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and someday it might end, right? So let's make sure you end with grace, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, K Basar, and I really hope people out there you benefit from the session today. So that's K Basar. Okay, okay. Thank you so much. See you again next round. Bye bye. Stay safe and happy Ramadan. Right. Okay.
All
Give it
right.
back.
Tiba-tiba ada personal question lah.
Aduh, gitu dah.
Aduh.
Okay, alright. Thank you so much. See you
All
again.
right. Hey, thanks,
Bye.
bro. Thanks so
Take
much.
care, bro. Take care. Take care. Bye.
Okay. See you.
See you. Bye.